Do you know why the Range Rover Velar is considered a pedigree SUV? I want to tell you why. Now, you know, this is the first car that Land Rover was producing under the leadership of Ratan Tata. In fact, they say that Ratan Tata, the retired chairman of the Tata Group of Company, considered this a personal project. It was going to be the first piece of equipment they were going to put into the market after they acquired the Land Rover Jaguar brand from Ford in the US. And the reason why it is considered a pedigree SUV is because also of the time when it was being manufactured, the dynamics of the market. And I want to take you through some of the dynamics of the market just for you to realize just how much flexible you have to be as a business leader in keeping your business afloat and in making sure that your business keeps on growing. Now, number one is that Indians are known for frugality. They are known for economy. They are known for cost cutting. Okay? And so the moment a product has an Indian quality, a lot of people expect it all of a sudden to lose its luxury appeal. But the problem is Land Rover is known for luxury. Land Rover is known for power. Land Rover is one of the automakers that doesn't have what we call entry-level vehicles. You know, the 1000 cc's, the Toyota Vitz, the Demios, the Notes. Land Rover doesn't have that category of vehicles. Why? Because the Land Rover is not apologetic about the fact that it targets the high end of the market. But now here is a thing, is the issue. This luxury brand is acquired by an Indian company in the year 2008. And one of the questions in the boardrooms was, how will an Indian mindset operate a luxury brand? And this is why the world was eagerly waiting for the first piece of equipment, for the first vehicle that Land Rover would put on the road after being acquired by the Tata Group of Companies. And guess what? That vehicle is the vehicle that I'm sitting inside, is the vehicle that you're looking at. This particular model is a 2020 model of the Range Rover Velar. It sits between the Range Rover Evoque, what people call the baby Range Rover, and the proper Range Rover Sport. And I want to take you through the dynamics that the engineers had to navigate for them to deliver the Range Rover Velar. Number one is that this vehicle is manufactured at a time when girl power is real. Women's power is real at the time when this vehicle is being manufactured. Now, let me take you back. There's a time when manufacturers of motor vehicles primarily manufactured vehicles with men in mind. I'm sorry for that. It was a patriarchal society. Chauvinism was real. Sometimes even women didn't have driving licenses, and any person that was making a vehicle was actually making a vehicle for a man. But the Range Rover Velar is being manufactured, you know, around the year 2012, 2013, 14, for it to hit the road around the year 2017. This is a time when women are powerful, not just at home, but also in the corporates and also in the government. They are making decisions on what fleet companies are going to buy. And the last thing that you want to do at such a time as an auto manufacturer is to deliver a vehicle that is purely masculine. Now, there was a feeling that the Range Rover Evoque is too small for it to be a Range Rover, and a feeling that the Sport is perhaps too heavy, too masculine for a female driver. So if you are designing a vehicle that you want to function as a proper SUV that can be acquired by a family, then you want to come up with a vehicle that both the man and the woman can be able to drive. And I think the Range Rover Velar is a fantastic compromise in that particular question of engineering and coming up with the design of a vehicle. Because if you look at the Range Rover Velar, it's not too big, it's not too small, it's not too heavy, it's not too light. It does well on both the hands of men and women. It is a proper pedigree when you talk about the size of an SUV, and it makes a very, very good appeal for both the men and the women. But there was another dynamic, the environment. The environment is very, very important at the time when the Range Rover Velar is being conceived. Now, this is a time when sometimes automakers announce launch of a model of a motor vehicle, and you have guys seated in NGOs and they're asking that vehicle that is being launched, what is the engine capacity? How much carbon does it release into the atmosphere for every liter of fuel that it is burning? And this is not a simple thing in the face of the catastrophes that have been seen around the issue of global warming, okay? And you do not want to manufacture a vehicle that doesn't have the environmental appeal at the time when the Range Rover is being manufactured, okay? And this is why the Range Rover Velar doesn't come to you with the extremely big engines that you have in the Range Rover Sport or even in the Range Rover Vogue. It comes with a moderate engine of 2-liter, 4-cylinder that is turbocharged. It has other variances, but all of them try to adhere to one thing: low emissions, being friendly to the environment. And one beautiful thing is that because I've driven the Evoque, I've driven the Sport and even the Vogue, I can tell you one thing: this car is ruthlessly efficient, is ruthlessly powerful for the engine size that it has under the hood. It is an extremely it gives you that feeling of takeoff. You know, ile time unaenda kuchukua ka flight pale JKIA unasikia ina take off. This vehicle gives you that exact feeling as you accelerate because it has enough torque, it has enough engine power. But at the same time, it was able to consider the fact that it's supposed to be an efficient engine that has the lowest emissions possible. I would say the engineers did a fantastic job in balancing the dynamics of the environment in as far as delivering this, I call it piece of equipment, because it's truly a piece of equipment. It is a well-sophisticated vehicle, yet very simple and very lovely and very easy to drive. The engineers did a good job in considering the issue of girl power and considering the issue of the environment in delivering this particular vehicle. The last thing that was real at the point when this vehicle was being manufactured was the issue of Brexit. You know, Britain was just about to leave it was to conduct that political move that we all refer to as the Brexit. And there was a lot of uncertainty on the Land Rover brand on how the other countries, the other markets, would respond to their products, to their brands after they exit the European Union. And we all understand that story. And they had to consider all these things as they continued to manufacture this vehicle and make sure that even after Brexit happens, this particular vehicle and the other Land Rover models would continue to sell in the other countries. This is some of the reasons why the Range Rover Velar is considered a pedigree SUV, in that it brings Asian minds to work with British minds to come up with a product that is low cost yet luxurious, that will be able to sell in Europe, in Britain, in America, and in all other markets that have, the top cream of the economic side of the segment. Why? Because this vehicle, for example, here in Kenya is going for between 16.5 to 20 million shillings. This is a 2020 model. By the time you're talking of 2021, 2022, 2023, you're hitting the 21, 22 million shillings price tag on the vehicle. It is completely high-end. But I tell you one thing, it is such a lovely vehicle to drive. See how it looks while on the move. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Eric, the founder, CEO, Maridadi Motors. I look at the stories behind vehicle models, and particularly how those stories can be able to inspire enterprise, and particularly entrepreneurs. Because one thing I know, that to be an entrepreneur, you have to keep responding to changes. You have to keep responding to the different dynamics in the market. And the automotive sector has very many interesting stories on how we can be able to navigate even as we lead our businesses into serving in the marketplace. Certainly speaking, Range Rover Sport is not designed to be a cheap vehicle. The Velar, which is under the Range Rover Sport category, is also not designed to be a cheap car. And like I love to say when I talk about high-end vehicles, you don't have to rob the bank to buy this vehicle, but certainly you need a very good bank balance. In actual fact, if your balance is below 16.5 million shillings and your bank is not willing to finance you for that kind of money, we are not talking about the Range Rover Velar. You have to work a bit more harder and smarter. Burn all your midnight oil. Let's talk when you have a good bank balance. Asante sana. That's on a light note.